of Italy, your mind probably drifts to happy thoughts. Great food, warm beaches, and most importantly, very fast cars. For whatever reason, Italy has become the land of incredible supercars. Their vehicles are big, fast, comfortable, and very expensive. Today, we're going to be attempting to figure out what exactly it is that makes cars from Italy so much more special than anywhere else in the world. We'll be showing you a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, and a Maserati today, but rather than senselessly comparing them against each other, we'll be comparing them to this. A 2013 Volkswagen Jetta, aka a normal car. Very small, very reliable, and very economy friendly. Basically the exact opposite of an Italian supercar. Under the hood, we've got a 2.5-liter 5-cylinder engine, making 170 horsepower and over 30 miles per gallon on the highway. On the inside, we have a well-made but pretty typical interior. Being a German car, you can expect to find very good build quality and solid technology. You're not going to find any carbon fiber or exotic materials, but that's not what this car is made for. It's certainly tailored to the daily commute. So, let's get behind the wheel and see what these high-end Italian cars are up against. Alright, so we got a 0 to 60 mile per hour time of about 8.5 seconds. The car does have a very sharp turning radius, which is great for inner city driving. But as you approach high speeds, all that grip starts to go out the window. I'm not going to dump on the Volkswagen because I do think it's a great little car. I like the Golfs, I like the old Super Beetles, and I think this 2013 Jetta is very good at what it's supposed to do. At lower speeds, the handling is pretty good. Obviously it's no race car, but as far as weaving through traffic, the little blue German is a worthy contender. The car tops out at about 130 miles per hour, so it's not agonizingly slow, but it's not a performance car either. By all accounts, it is a very normal vehicle. Moving on. The tradition of fast Italian cars was born on the racetrack. This is a Lamborghini Huracán GT3 Evo, an era-defining Le Mans racer that goes over 200 miles per hour. And this is the Ferrari 296 GT3, a brand new, twin-turbocharged 600 horsepower track monster. These two brands have one of the fiercest rivalries in all of automotive history. Way back in 1908, a 10-year-old boy decided that he wanted to race cars. His name was Enzo Ferrari. He spent his early adulthood racing for Alfa Romeo, and by 1929, Ferrari was already making waves in the automotive world. With a loan from the bank and a sponsorship from Pirelli tires, he formed his own gentleman's racing team, Scuderia Ferrari. In the beginning, his team was driving Alfa Romeos. As the years went on, Ferrari started developing their own race cars, mostly built out of parts of old Fiats. Finally, in 1947, Ferrari created their first street car, the 125S. From then on, it's history. Ferrari's cars have been fast and fancy from the very beginning. They've given us timeless classics like the 250 GTO, otherworldly supercars like the Ferrari Enzo, competitive race cars like the 296, and street-legal dream cars like this, the Ferrari 458 Italia. The first major difference between this Ferrari and our Volkswagen is that the engine is in the back. Under the rear windshield, you'll find a 4.5-liter V8 that pushes out 562 naturally aspirated horsepower. With an engine that powerful sitting right behind your head, you might imagine the Ferrari is a loud, annoying beast for the driver. But that's not really the case. On the inside, the 458 is a luxury car. It's sporty and it's low, but it is in no way a bare-bones race car. The steering wheel is covered in knobs and switches, and the materials throughout the interior are very high-end. Certainly a big step away from the subtle design of the Volkswagen Jetta. Behind the wheels, you'll find a sophisticated suspension and an absolutely massive set of disc brakes. By the way, if you like these bright yellow brake calipers and jet black wheels, make sure to check out our friends at RTP Customs, the finest powder coating shop in our great city of Atlanta. For our Italian supercar video today, obviously we needed some Italian supercars. And as per usual, RTP Customs had no shortage of fast, exotic sports cars in the shop. The 458 is very low, but it is not a small vehicle. At 178 inches long and 76 inches wide, it's actually a good bit wider than our Volkswagen Jetta. And despite the fact that it's only a two-door, the Ferrari is basically the same length as a sedan. Weighing in at about 3,300 pounds, it's pretty lightweight for its size. It's not featherweight by any means. A small, handling-focused sports car will often weigh quite a bit less than something like this 458. The Italian formula is to build big, substantial cars and make up for that with ludicrous amounts of horsepower. The way the thing sounds is also noticeably different from a normal daily driver. I don't think you have to be a car enthusiast to appreciate the sound of a highly tuned Italian engine. Mr. Enzo Ferrari was a competitive man. Ergo, he started a lot of competitions. After the wars in Europe, a man named Ferruccio Lamborghini made a very successful business, building tractors. He would repurpose old, decommissioned military machinery for the parts, giving him great profit margins. As Lamborghini grew into a successful businessman, he amassed a small collection of Ferraris. And he loved his Ferraris, but he found they had clutch problems. Ferruccio, being a man of engineering, approached Enzo Ferrari with these issues, and even offered him a potential solution. Ferrari told Lamborghini to go home and focus on building his tractors. This is the Lamborghini Huracán, the most successful sports car the company has ever produced. Like the Ferrari, this supercar has been tastefully modified by RTP Customs, who used some very fancy machines to color match the bright orange Lamborghini. After finishing up on this car, they went out for a test drive with the owner, and they invited us along to film it. Under the hood, there's a 5.2-liter V10 that generates 600 horsepower. It is a very quick car. 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 3 seconds and a top speed of about 200. I'd say those numbers are a little bit more impressive than the Jetta. But in all honesty, impressive lap times don't mean that much to most people. What's really important is the way a car makes you feel.
It's gonna be my first time getting a Lamborghini on the road. Let's see how it feels.
Yeah, it's low.
It is low, but what I like about your seats is they're comfortable compared to the Performante.
Yeah, the reason I didn't get Performante because it has its own aero and the wing sits higher. I was looking at the Performantes only for a long time, and I couldn't do the way I wanted to look.
Man, you feel it, that rush. Man, it sounds amazing.
Both the Ferrari and the Lamborghini cost as much money as a small house. The GT3 race cars we looked at earlier cost as much money as a big house, making these cars completely unobtainable for the average driver. Now you might think that the price alone is what makes Italian cars so special. Like a high-end fashion accessory, it's special because it's out of reach for most people. But I don't buy it, and I have proof. It's a myth that you need to spend 6 figures to see why Italian cars are so special. For less than the price of a new Corolla, you can get behind the wheel of one of these. Granted, this fully loaded, twin-turbocharged Maserati Ghibli S Q4 would have been about $90,000 when it was new. These days, however, you can pick one up for 20 grand. You know, when you're just looking at the numbers, this car is a 4-door sedan with a 3-liter V6. That doesn't sound that hot. However, numbers and driving experience are totally different stories. In true Italian fashion, it is not just any V6. This twin-turbo monster of an engine was developed by Ferrari. It makes over 400 horsepower, and despite the fact that this is the biggest, heaviest car in our video today, it dances like a ballerina. Very first thing you notice driving this car is the exhaust. car handles is truly astonishing. The absolute control you have over the vehicle is amazing. You tell it what to do and it does it exactly the same way, every single time. You're in harmony with the car. When you put the car into sport mode, it adjusts the transmission and remaps the throttle. It also opens up a valve in the exhaust, making that sweet, sweet sound even sweeter. This big luxury car weighs 4,100 pounds. That's a whole lot heavier than the Jetta. Still, this cuts the 0 to 60 mile per hour time in half. So, like I said, I don't buy the idea that Italian cars are special because they're expensive. They're expensive because they're special. That Maserati is not as powerful or as striking as the Ferrari or the Lamborghini. Of course, it's not a supercar, it's a sedan. But it is an Italian sedan. The Italians just have a different way of doing things, man. They build a big, comfy commuter car and think, why not put a 400 horsepower Ferrari engine in it? That is passion. And passion is what makes Italian cars so very special. These companies are not anywhere near as big as brands like Ford or Toyota. These cars are not assembled by robots. They're put together by people. And truthfully, you do notice, if you're around Italian cars for any period of time, you do notice that some of the welds suck. Some of the interior parts aren't sewn together right because they weren't laser fit. They were put together by a dude in Italy. And it is okay that that's the way it is, because despite the fact that they don't have the resources of these massive companies, they still manage to break speed records and consistently push the very limit of what a car is capable of doing. That is why Italian cars are special. So, anyway, Italian supercars versus normal cars. Here's the difference. We'll start with the interior. The materials in an Italian car are going to be much higher quality than a typical commuter. You're likely to find leather, suede, carbon fiber, or exotic wood in an Italian car, rather than the more typical cloth and plastic. A supercar's interior will be sporty, and a lot of effort will have gone into weight reduction, but unlike a race car, it usually won't be lacking any technology. You're going to get all the features of a normal high-end vehicle. On the outside, an Italian car is going to have sharper body lines, exotic, lightweight materials, and a very fancy paint job. Unlike cheaper vehicles, the aerodynamics you find on a supercar are actually going to be effective. If a car like this has a spoiler on it, it usually does something. Performance-wise, a supercar is obviously going to embarrass pretty much anything else on the road. You're going to get a lot of horsepower, a beefy, sophisticated suspension, and a finely tuned computer tying it all together. Economy-wise, okay, the normal car wins here. Of course. Everything from gas, insurance, parts, and the labor to install those parts is going to be a whole lot more expensive in a fancy Italian car. Reliability-wise, the normal car also wins. By a lot. So, I'll leave it up to you to decide. Thanks for watching our video, consider subscribing to us here at The Left Pedal, and check out our friends at RTP Customs.